First step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got started up on the blocks. So I need you to start coming to start up on the blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, again, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow. Send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Start Up on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Start Up on the Blocks.
Hello. How's it going, Ray?
Hello, how are you today, Lloyd?
Great. Welcome to Startups on the Blocks, and glad to have you here. And we are looking forward to you sharing your story tonight. But first, let's thank some of our sponsors and make sure we give a little homage to them. And so we're all excited about all these folks that are helping us out. I guess you're familiar with the BIT folks, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, So, what's your experience with Blacks in Technology?
Well, definitely want to give a shout out to Holly and Lena here in Nashville, Blacks in Tech. They're awesome. I call them my big sisters because they're doing so much. Definitely volunteer with them. Actually, I'm going to be at an event with them tomorrow, Career Day at a high school here in Nashville. They've had a hackathon a couple weeks ago with students from Fisk University in Belmont. And so just volunteering and going to their events that they have here in Nashville. So we have an awesome BIT foundation here with them too, heading it here. So I'm excited to learn more and to do more with BIT here and the conference coming in September. So definitely.
Fantastic. And so we're trying to get our BIT up and running here in Pensacola, and they're partnering with us to kind of do a Startup on the Blocks here as well. And so we it's a fantastic organization supporting people and supporting founders, so glad to connect with you through that. Yes. And so we have some more sponsors. I'll give a shout out to Pat. He was in the networking with the collab. They've been supporting us and, since we got going here, and we've been working together, trying to build the ecosystem up. And also we have, a couple of banks there, like the Residence Bank, the First Bank. They've been supporting us financially, and so we're happy about that. And we're definitely excited about Florida Power and Light. They've been a big help to us, and they're coming on really, really big to support what we're doing. And Small Business Development Center, we've been partnering with them, and they've been helping us out too from the beginning. And Bantucola, can't forget about them, and both of the chambers here locally have been supporting us as well. And Innisfree Hotel, they've been doing, helping us out with our, sponsor. I think they sponsored 3 of our first 4 pitch competitions. So that's really neat. So as we can see, there's a big need for stuff like this in there, and there's companies that want to support what's going on. So Ray, tell us, go ahead and give a little introduction here. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, so I'm Ray Arsenault. I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm the founder of Diabetes Healthcare Company. I am a software developer by trade, and I am also type 1 diabetic. So that's why I kind of started the company. Got into tech strangely a couple years ago, trying to create an application for my youngest son to learn how to read. Created a prototype in Microsoft Publisher, started showing it to some people. And then one of the ladies that I showed it to at a company here was like, you've kind of really thought about this. Maybe you should consider a career in software development. So that's how I kind of stumbled into software development.
Wow. from doing Microsoft Publisher. That's pretty neat. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. That sounds pretty interesting story. First, we want to share a little bit about um, what we do with Startup on the Blocks, and I guess Ray, in the uh, you've been participating in our second cohort with the Blacks in Technology 30-day Idea Accelerator. And the first lesson in there about mindset. So kind of what's your feeling about developing the right mindset and being a founder?
Well, definitely being a part of the cohort right now has showed me so much. Definitely having a business background, an MBA in business, but I've had to unlearn everything I learned in school, learn it the right way here in the cohort. Because definitely, so some of the things that we've been learning over the last 3 weeks have kind of gave me the right mindset to how to look at things. As far as the business model is the product, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was takeaway that I've taken away in the last 2-3 weeks. It's like, wow. So having that mindset. So definitely, being willing to learn from other people and being able to, come into the group, and the resources you all have in this cohort are awesome. So it's
Yeah,
been,
yeah.
yeah, it's been a priceless experience.
Yes, I appreciate that. And so, kind of the way we look at the mindset with our Startup on the Blocks program, and what I learned, going through some of the training, and it's really tough to kind of for a founder that's got a certain mindset, and then they learn these new ideas, and trying to get that shift. I remember the first program, accelerator program I was in with a bunch of veterans, and one of the guys who now has a successful company, permits.com. I could swear it took him almost. We were in a 12-week program, and it took him almost 10 weeks to learn what he unlearn what he had learned in the military. Yeah, it was very cute. But now he has a successful company. He finally got it. But yeah, so the way we look at the mindset is if you get that right mindset and develop the right skills and learn the best practices, you can literally take advantage of all the resources out there in the ecosystem. And so that's kind of, I kind of thought about this, this particular thing. And so for me, if you got a right mindset and you're willing to learn the skills and best practices, you can unlock all this stuff that can kind of move you forward in the ecosystem, from that idea all the way to MVP and growth, all the way through. And so this is our little playbook we develop. And, if anybody out there is confused about what it's like to be a founder, this is kind of a little, you can hear a lot of things here and there, but the bottom line, if you kind of, follow these steps, you can definitely be successful. And so it's a kind of a good, simple approach. And it's literally how you take advantage of the ecosystem, to take advantage of all the resources out there. Righty. So I guess you've probably seen this a couple times or two, huh?
Just a few.
Yeah. So and so you're doing this 30-day accelerator here, this green and this gold part right now, Idea Accelerator, and so the whole idea about that is you're going to come out of there, learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And so that clearly and concisely, a lot of times it's just like if someone asks you how you make money with your product, you just say it in like one sentence. I charge people this, and so it just kind of helps, when you can be clear, and then if they want more information, then they can ask, or you can kind of follow up with a little bit more information, but getting that answer out there right. So next month, Ray, we're going to roll into this validation and demand generation framework. And so it's like a 90-day thing where, you getting you to the point where you can, have your MVP, which you already have, but the stuff you're going to learn is you're going to validate that business model and learn how to get the generate more demand, for what you have. But yeah, so this is kind of like this 10x curve, like you start off slow, get that hockey stick, and go up to a nice revenue up there. So, but yeah, that's one way to look at your journey is, and this is not the only way to look at it, but this is a kind of a good way to look at it. Now, had you taken a look at the startup science day at all?
I have, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
they just did a update last week, and I'll kind of show people that. Let me just bring that up because this is kind of what your journey thing is too. You go through these phases, and it kind of helps you kind of go from an idea to an exit. So I'm gonna digress here and see can I find where I actually have that up at. Give me a second here. Yeah, so let's get over here. So I wanted to bring everybody's attention. I don't know if you all, the people that get the newsletter, I don't know if you saw the little video in the newsletter. It was kind of explaining some of the new features here. But so now they have what they call these collections of courses, and these courses are like really short. Like they have video. You can watch videos, or you can listen to audio, or you can actually read the text. But what they did is if you just want to learn the early basics or some of these things here, you can click on one of these and it'll bring up the courses that you can go through for that. But what they just did was they created this pre-accelerator collection, and Pat, this is an example of what we can do if we wanted to kind of do prep people for an accelerator. We can actually do a cohort and just take them through these courses. When I did a pre-accelerator course in this thing, they've actually added. It wasn't this many lessons in here, but it's just a way that it can actually. Bottom line, it can actually get you ready for an accelerator. Get you prepared to talk to investors, all that good stuff. And I think I was showing this in the workshop we had Monday, right?
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yeah. And so, so this, you as you go through the courses, it actually populates these things, things in here. And so, like as you're doing the training, so let's say you're not familiar with all the marketing concepts, you can go in here, and it's gonna do a little video, 2 minutes, and something to explain to what that is. But you're also going to have an exercise that actually shows you how to figure out what your total addressable market is. And so these are all kind of questions that a investor, your market LTV, your CAC, and all that stuff, your user stories, and so so that's just getting you ready to kind of do. So you can come to the company profile and take it that way, or you can actually just go to the collections and doing it. And one last thing here, and then I'll get off this and get back to the thing here. So it also has a list of opportunities here that you can actually take advantage of as well. So it's a really neat platform. I wanted to kind of share that with everybody. So that's just one way to look at it. And so on your journey with your startup, so I just want to make sure people understand is that you don't have to, because you're working on your startup part-time or full-time or what?
So for me, I'm full-time now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I at the beginning of the year, I was a contract software developer.
Yeah.
That ended because of the economy, and then I was just going to do my own thing now. So
Gotcha. Fantastic. All righty. So that's basically all I wanted to share on that. But this is just a great opportunity to be working with founders and and kind of help them and getting out learn all the neat stuff about what they're developing, and it's really really cool. Yes. So, all righty. So, why don't you kind of give us a little more background about how what your career path was out of high school or whatever, or when did you kind of get an idea of what you want to do, or what's your journey been like?
Yes. So I started straight out of high school. I didn't go to college.
Okay.
I got my real estate license at 18.
Wow.
At that time, my parents were buying their first home, and Mr. Murray, will never forget him. He said, asked me what I was doing when I got out of high school, and I really didn't know. I know I really wasn't ready for college, so he said, "Well, spend the summer with me, get your real estate license." And I got my real estate license and was doing residential real estate for a few years out of high school. So
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
did that and ended up getting a part-time job at a bank as a teller, probably when I was about 2023. And then I landed a great internship with a commercial real estate company here in Nashville called Colliers International.
Okay.
And that internship changed my life because I was introduced to a whole different world. Uh, Growing up, my mother's a single parent.
Uh-huh.
My father was incarcerated for drugs. My stepfather had been incarcerated for murder. So
Wow.
my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather definitely, provided me the stability in my life. And ended up going to college about 26 years old. Decided I wanted to become the first in my immediate family male to graduate from college. And so during that time while I was in college, I sold real estate, worked at the bank, and
Wow.
ended up getting a job in the banking as a banker. Got my undergrad degree in finance, still working at the bank. And this was about 2008, 2009, when the economy just, we had everything going on in the economy then. And so I stayed in school because one of my professors, he said, you already have a job. I'll throw you a little money to get your MBA. So I ended up getting my MBA in finance and did that. Got a good job out of school at UBS Financial Services, working on their trade desk here in Nashville. Worked there for a few years and just like, uh, it was cool, but I was getting looked over on promotions
Wow.
and everything, and they kind of bothered me because I knew I was more qualified, education, the tenure in the company, and so I realized that I was only going to go so far in corporate America. They were going to pick who they wanted to pick, and so I got back into real estate and ended up getting a job at the state of Tennessee in their real estate department. So
Wow. Okay.
and so that job right there was the one that kind of showed me how things really work with real estate for us, the state, and financing, the lawmakers, and who really makes the decisions. So that opened me up to a whole new world. At that time, that's when I kind of started the app for my son at the same time and started looking at some options to get somebody else to build the app for me. And then I came across a school here called the Nashville Software School. I went there and started there in 2018. Was pumped, and halfway through the program, I had like this pain in my back and ended up having to drop the course and go through physical therapy. I had two pinched nerves in my back,
Wow.
and so I'm trying to type and do my work and everything like that, and had to quit that course. And that was kind of like the roughest time of my life because I had told my family, my fiance, my sons, and everything like that, that hey, I was going to get into tech, and then I didn't get into tech. So I
Mhm.
had to wait like 9 months to get back into that program, and got back into the program, did my physical therapy, went through the first, 6 months, and then the last 6 months went through that. That was at the end of the pandemic. So when the pandemic started, I graduated tech school in 2020, and still working at the state, had a good, state stability, and
Mhm.
end up getting a tech job with a local company here for about 6 months. But again, the onboarding for like new developers
Yeah.
is really not a process. And I realized that the thing I liked about tech was being creative.
Yes.
So I didn't really never go to the school to become an employee anymore. I think my mindset had shifted from employee to creator and entrepreneur. And so I started kind of looking at things that I was passionate about. Education was the first one, coming up with the system to help kids learn how to read. And then working for other companies. And, I see a lot of people now that are laid off and trying to get jobs, especially in tech, especially blacks in tech, right?
Yes.
A lot of us are, getting laid off and looking towards companies. I'm like, well, we got enough creativity in our community that we need to just start building our own. And so I just kind of looked at that, was like, well, I'm type 1 diabetic. There's really no apps out there to do what I need them to do. And so just kind of started working on that when I got laid off at the beginning of the year, and, leveraged that banking, leveraged the MBA, leveraged the real estate, because I felt like all that, I was preparing me for something bigger. And so now, as a founder with the diabetes, which we all know diabetes is a huge problem within the world, but not only but in the United States right now too. So that's kind of how my path started. I wanted to be a bank. I wanted to be a real estate tycoon. I hit that ceiling. There wasn't too many people that looked like me that were in real estate doing what I wanted to do, especially here in Nashville. And then, once I got into finance, I hit that same brick wall. But then I feel like with technology, and one of my friends, Chelsea Tate, she said this in a forum that we had here in Nashville, like a lot of black technologists, was that tech is that great equalizer.
Yes.
It can change trajectories of people's lives. And so that's why I felt like tech was going to be something that's going to help me not only do good for my community, but also provide a stability and income for my family as well.
Yeah. So, like, I'm glad you mentioned that tech thing as an equalizer. When I started learning about the lean startup methodology, and I came across this briefing about the investor readiness level. But what it made me realize is that when you become a founder and you're at the idea stage, your idea is worth zero, so you're not investor ready. Nobody's going to give you the money. And then as you kind of start flushing out your concept a little bit, then and you get a little further, you might be able to get some money from your friends and family. But as you kind of get to the point where you get your MVP, you start getting more and more investor ready. And so I thought about the journey, like you said, your career thing could get you so far, but in the startup world, you could start off at zero and work your way up, and you can run into some challenges, but at least you have the opportunity to kind of move forward.
Yeah, and I know that one of my mentors said, if you give a company the right to feed you, you also give a company the right to starve you. And that hit hard when he said that to me. I was like, at my age where I'm at, I want something different for my family and also do good in the community. So I was like, seeing Deion Sanders doing what he did in Jackson State. Like, sometimes I believe in our community, we're waiting for someone else to lead.
Yes.
We can all do our part by just doing the action, doing the work, and then you get more people motivated to see what you're doing. So I believe everybody stepping out on faith and doing what's good for the community, it'll all work together. So that's kind of, my belief in how I kind of go about it. Even on those hard days when I like, man, I'm crazy for trying to do this, sometimes, but I know that it's a bigger reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So
Gotcha. So when you started on your founder's journey, so was the A1C plan, was that the kind of first thing you came up with, or was that the first idea?
Well, the first idea was the learning app to learn how to read for kids.
Okay.
My first idea, and then I kind of looked at it like, that idea was good and great, and I could probably come back to that. But the big market was diabetes.
Oh yeah.
America spends 1/3 of the GDP is spent on health care.
Mm-hmm.
Like Medicare, Medicaid are the biggest expenditures of the United States government right now. So
yeah. So you said that you were type 1 diabetic, and so what was that thing that made you say, well, this is the thing I'm going to work on?
Well, because I had a continuous glucose monitor, which that kind of changed the game for me when I got diabetes. Because when I first got it, I was pricking my fingers, getting blood, doing that, and that was horrible, especially for me, young adult, working, active, and having to stop and do that. So once I got the Dexcom G6, that's the continuous glucose monitor, I was like, it was a game changer for me. I was like, the app is cool. It helps me monitor my glucose, but that's really all it does. I have more needs of monitoring my health and other things that it includes, taking medication, appointments, dealing with different providers, and those were the different things that the app didn't do. So I was like, well, to make it an easier life for me, I'm going to create it for myself and then start asking people what they think about it and just, go from there. So it was just like that idea. Like there are other apps out there that do cool things, but they don't kind of fit the need of different people with diabetes. And so that's kind of where I was looking at, like, well, that's cool. We got this, we got that, but they don't do this and they
Yeah.
don't do that. So kind of
Gotcha.
put
Yeah.
those pieces together.
So had you participated in any startup or founder programs there in Nashville?
I did. So we have something called the Nashville EC, the Entrepreneur
Okay.
Center, but that was like in 2018 when I first went there. I had a thing called Pre-Flight. Really wasn't an idea I had then to like create a diabetes app. It was
Yeah.
just more of, I knew I was going to go to tech school. I wanted to kind of, see what resources were here available. And
Hmm.
it was a cool program. I believe like it fits certain type of businesses, but not every business fits in that program. Just like
Yeah.
it's not like hot weather is not for everybody, cold weather is not for everybody. So it was, they had some good resources, but for where I was at that time, I didn't fit in that program.
Gotcha. So any other programs?
No other programs. Again,
Hmm.
once I got out of tech school, I was kind of like on the fences. Do I want to go work for someone or do I want to do my own thing? So I kind of always knew that I was going to do my own thing and become, start my own company. But at the time, I felt like I had enough experience in banking and finance and business. I was a small business banker for a couple years, so I understood, the bottom line, what customers really wanted, understand, why businesses go out of business, they don't make sales. So I feel like I
Hmm.
had experience in the business, but then things change. This technology has changed, the way we do business, the way you start a business now. For example, people that are doing podcasts like this 10 years ago, it probably cost $15,000 to do a podcast. All you need now is an iPhone and a speaker and a light. You can start your own podcast. So
Yeah.
so business world changed with the technology. So that's why I said, well, I probably need to do accelerator. And then definitely when I saw Blacks in Tech doing the accelerator, I was like, yeah, that's my family. That's my fam. I'm going to, apply for this. So definitely glad I did.
Good. So the so did that first program you did they talk about have any tools to help you kind of stress test your idea or a business model and stuff like that, like in the lean stack with the traction roadmap or all that kind of stuff.
They had probably some of the basics,
Yeah.
and it was probably pre-idea type of get you going to think
Okay.
about
Gotcha.
would probably be the best case scenario for you. They had
Hmm.
that. And then they got different levels there now and everything at the EC Center here in Nashville. But at that time, they just had probably the basics. Someone had an idea and kind of help you format it, get it together, then go to the next stage of what it is what you were going to try to develop from it.
So like like walk us through. So what's the name of your app?
So the name of my app is A1C Plan. Uh,
Okay.
A1C is what measures your 90 days glucose levels for diabetics. So that's measurable. That's what your endocrinologist wants you to have a good A1C. And so I call it A1C plan, execute a healthy lifestyle. And so with the application, it kind of monitors all those different aspects of managing your health that some are not measurable, like getting medication, being able to get a ride to go to the doctor, those different things. So that's why I call it A1C plan, because we want to help people execute a healthy lifestyle and get that A1C down, because we know with diabetes, amputations, kidney failure, and blindness are the three number one causes of people not keeping up with their A1C and doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. So yeah, Erin is in the audience, and she's a doctor, and I think I'm trying to Erin type in the chat what your how do you describe what you do, but she's trying to help people with their diet, how to you know prepare foods that's actually healthy and get your health under control, that way.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the app does. It deals with your medication, diet, and exercise because those are the three main contributors to your A1C.
Hmm. Yeah. So whereas Erin, she's going out there coaching people on how to eat right and cook right, she could leverage a tool like what you have there to help with the people that she's coaching.
Yes, you're definitely, and that's what it'd be for providers and for people that are diabetic and pre-diabetic. That's another, again, in the United States, some of the numbers, I'm a numbers guy. There's 37 million people with diabetes in the United States, but it's 96 million people with pre-diabetes.
Yeah. So walk us through how somebody like Erin, a doctor, would actually use your app.
Yeah, so a doctor that would use my app, and that's kind of the second part of the company is that right now it's user facing, but then we're going to have that provider facing tool. So how they would use the app was they would basically, if someone's wanting to set up a glucose monitor, that's where we're piggybacking off that Dexicon G6, so someone can always know what their A1C is. So that's one way. Medicare has now approved continuous glucose monitors just in April. So that's a game changer for a lot of people that are having problems keeping up with their glucose. The monitors are now covered by Medicare. So definitely that would be the first step, getting someone a continuous glucose monitor. That way we can get into the app. They'll always know their A1C. Secondly, like you said, when she's doing with her patients, her clients, is that she can put in the meal programs. Like we can add up videos on how to cook it, go straight to YouTube, click on it. If you got a certain diet or certain dish they want to cook, have it go straight to a video. So it makes things easy. It's like it's so easy to eat bad now. It's so easy for me to drive out here to McDonald's and get all this salt, but we don't make it easy for people to eat right. So what she's doing is definitely where we need to be going, teaching people how to eat and then making it easy for them to find other recipes, other ways to find other food to eat right. And with Uber Eats, we could do that too. So I feel like there's a whole ecosystem on teaching people how to eat right. So that's how she can use it that way for clients. Also with medication. I know I take a few medications with diabetes. Sometimes I forget. I'm working, family. So there's another way, reminders, push notifications on when to take your medication, when it's time to refill medications. That's another part of sometimes people will go and they'll forget to refill their medication, wait 3 or 5 days. Those 3 or 5 days are having an impact on people's health outcomes.
Yeah. So how would you charge doctors that are using your app?
So how would I charge a doctor? The doctors per patient, depending on how many patients they have that they want to be able to provide to the app. The app will be free to the patient. Again, because our model is insurance company or provider or another third party pays for it. We want to kind of make this free to people because we understand people financial burdens, and
Mm-hmm.
so if they can, insurance can pay us. That's what our model is.
So what kind of relationship would you have with an insurance company to make money?
So definitely with the insurance companies, we understand someone with diabetes is 3 times more expensive to cover. So for example, if someone with diabetes goes to the emergency room, that's about $15,000 per time. Now that's just to go to the emergency room. Now if they stay overnight in the hospital, we can add another $30,000 to that. So what it's going to be for the insurance companies, it's going to be a cost saver for the insurance companies. That
So what would be your approach to charging them?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What would be your approach to charging the insurance company?
Well, the approach to charging insurance companies that we have the data showing we've helped people lower their A1C. Like
And
it's
so
going to be a cost savings for them in the
yeah.
long run.
So what would you charge them?
What would I charge them? It depends on the head count, on how many people are using the app. For example, if we have insurance company A that has 50,000 people that have diabetes or pre-diabetes within their policy, we would charge them a head count of probably about 250 per head count, depending on how the deal is structured. I believe like head count is the biggest important thing because it's measurable. On like
Mhm.
we can have a population to see, okay, out of this population, how many people really lowered their A1C, how many people stopped going to the emergency room and saved the money for them that long way. Because again, $50,000 a couple of times a year for insurance companies, that's a lot of money. So
So,
we come in as a savings.
yeah, so you're saying that like let's say your low tier for the insurance company is um, 1,000 people and they pay this amount a month. Then the next tier maybe 5,000. They pay a certain amount of money each month. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what's been done before. That's kind of what I've researched on how like different apps or different programs. Because with some insurance companies, they pay for you to go to the gym. And that's free to keep people healthy. They understand, hey, if we keep people healthy, they won't go to the emergency room. We keep
Yeah,
them healthy. So
yeah. And so I think if you probably heard me say this, it's like so. What I would do if I were you is I would you know come up with some you know price that you would charge the doctors or providers, and kind of like just think when you're asked when you're being asked questions, how do you make money? How the deal is you could say, well, we charge providers, you know, you know, we like uh, $1,000 a month or whatever, $5,000 a month or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And then it's clear how you make money.
okay,
Because like when people try to figure out how, like if you're in a pitch contest or you're trying to get investment, if they're trying to struggle and figure out how you make money, you got to hit it hard. Well, we charge doctors $2,000 a month, for up to 5,000 patients or something like that.
okay,
Yeah, so you got to come up with something to kind of make it clear. And like Erin was saying, let's say she was saying she wanted to connect because I guess she realized that what you're doing does complement what she's doing.
definitely.
So I'll make sure you all get connected. And Ron had another question. Who's a part of your team?
So a part of the team. So I'm the tech team. My fiance, she's a nurse practitioner, so she is definitely on the medical side. And we're also adding, talking to a few physicians right now, made some connections within the cohort as well. So right now it's myself, my fiance, who's been a nurse practitioner for 12, 13 years now, and looking to add to the team, especially anybody in the insurance side. So
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, Ron is
okay.
yeah, basically saying it's a kind of could be, maybe you can get a graduate student at is it Meharry or what they're in Nashville?
We got Meharry, and that's the next step. That's been part of the, makes the relations with Meharry and Vanderbilt. That's where my endocrinologist is at. So with them being a medical school,
Yeah,
college as well. So I'm in the healthcare mecca of the world, Nashville, with the ACA and a lot of the big health companies here. So definitely look forward to building this out and get it going to help people. Yes.
yeah. So I heard you say you've been doing some researches and to kind of figure out how to charge the insurance company. So like, so one of the things you learned in the startup science thing is said pick another company to follow and that's kind of close to what your company is. Just keep an eye on them, see what they're doing, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel on everything or figure out everything. And so that's that, and that's kind of what I heard you saying. So but I think if you see what other, just look at other startups and companies that are actually doing something similar and seeing what their revenue model is, and that's going to give you ideas how to refine your revenue model because you kind of know some of these things are acceptable. it's a simple strategy to use, but but just they I think Startup Science they call it like you pick a company to follow, but you also pick the company that's going to buy you when you get started out too. So
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So you already have you're starting with the end in mind.
Got your exit strategy before you start. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so that's kind of what the idea is, and so you at the beginning of the show here, you mentioned like the business model is the product, and so was in the lean stack, was that the first time you heard that?
That was the first time I heard that. Again, traditional. It's solution, solution, solution. But definitely going through the program and changing that mindset has been like eye opening, and I see why it's told. Like I do understand that because the world has changed. Technology, business, and investors has changed. That way is it's obsolete now. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, to to be honest, like February a year ago when I saw that you're pitching your business model instead of your product. Your business model is the product. I said, you dummy, you've been out there pitching all this stuff all these years, and look what you could have been a lot further if you had, but you do. That's why people ask you a question, like Ron asked you a question: how do you make money? And that's what the audience want to know. How you make money. That's what the investors want to know. I remember, I'll stop talking so much, but the first mobile app framework that my company built, the the users, like you say, the users were all excited about it. But then when I went to the people that I wanted to pay, the first, they looked at me like I was crazy. How are you going to make money with this? Yeah, so it's a pretty neat. So, all right, audience, you all got any more questions out there for Ray? Are there anything else you want to share, Ray? So you sort of hit on it, but could you go through again, walk us through how a diabetes patient will use your product?
yeah. So let me see here.
You want to share your screen or something?
I'm going to see if I get what I need here.
You could walk us through it like this, so that's what I tell people. Like when you have and you're at the idea stage, you can still demo your product. You just walk them through how somebody would actually use it.
Yeah, let me see if it's going to let me share what I want to share here.
Okay. Well, what you have shared, you want me to pull it up or
yeah, let's see. I'm going to see here. Share. Window. There we go. I think it's going to let me do it here.
Okay.
Maybe not. Let's see. Patrick, just put something in there. Okay. It is a very opportunity. Like it's with the numbers on diabetes, it's going to just get even more crazier here.
Yeah. Well, you definitely going to be able to get people, definitely want to see. Yeah. We were talking in the networking tonight. So, thinking about, what's a good go-to market strategy for what you have, going on right there.
I'm trying to get here. There we go. Let me see.
So right now, what you got shared is just your A1C plan app thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the simulator on my Mac to show it here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Simulator.
But what I kind of so what the deal is the value of just talking through how somebody would use it. That's actually value. So like when I ask you how a doctor would use it, then I want you to do the same thing on how a customer a patient would use it.
Yeah, so basically they will go into the app The main six function of the app is the glucose monitoring. So that's with the Dexicon G6, because with the Dexicon G6, I'm able as a software developer to pull into the API and get my readings from that glucose monitor. So that's one way they can use it. The other way they can use it is to track medication, set reminders what time the medication is, what level of medication it is, what dose they're giving themselves. The other way to use it is with appointments. Again, with diabetes, you want to see an endocrinologist, a cardiologist, a podiatrist. You want to see all these medical providers. And so it kind of maintains and manages that side of diabetes. The other part of it is like diet and the fitness. So you want to be, 30 minutes a day being active with your diet. Definitely you want to, have that carbs, fibers, your plate, different there. And then the other thing that the app's going to do is we're going to have that personal touch, request a call, non-emergency calls. So many times people, may have questions. So what I'm trying to do right now, work with one of the local schools, so getting some medical assistance, whomever that may be able to be on call for like non-emergency medical questions that they may have. And then that's the other piece of it too, that call with physicians. So that's why I'm trying to connect with physicians that kind of like a telehealth. That health is kind of big. So all within that, managing those chronic diseases, saving the insurance company from them having to go to the ER. So that's kind of how a user will use the app. That's how I use the app. When I started, it's like, well, these are the most important things to me. These six major areas: glucose monitoring, medication, diet, fitness, and my appointments. I have, go see, get your eyes checked, your feet checked, your heart checked, like all these appointments. It's like 6 different touch points with different providers who all have a different system. So that's kind of what we're doing now. We're building those relationships with physicians, with podiatrists, with cardiologists, and those different people that will see diabetes. So that's some of our channels. And like you said, how will we get them to pay for it? Again, the insurance companies being what I've seen, what people have done. What, for as charging the providers, I haven't seen a track record on that yet, or there might be an independent provider, but really it's the insurance company who's going to be.
Yeah. So like when you use the term provider, who do you mean?
Well, the doctor that they see, the primary care or the endocrinologist or the podiatrist, that provider, instead of the insurance company, because I feel like with providers, they don't even really deal with the billing. They have, billing departments. I feel like what I've seen out there that what's worked for other companies is they go straight to the insurance company. Because that's where you're going to get the big bang for it.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it where you have big corporations. They actually, help their employees out, and they even can get in the game. So that's why I say like really, if I would look, since you're in health tech, I would look at all these health tech startups and listen to their pitches, and just and you listen to the judge, ask them questions, and then that's going to tell you what the the judges and the investors want to know, and so you can literally learn a lot by just listening to pitches. And every day, like I think one of the companies I subscribe to their email, I think it's STONK. They're doing demo days all through the week, almost every day, and you can go and listen to those pitches. But yeah, so from your standpoint too, Ray, so have you thought about being in health tech? Thought about, because I look at these corporate accelerators for the healthcare industry.
Yes, so I have an interview next week with Jen Ader out of Birmingham. Out of Birmingham for their health tech. And then, you mentioned that companies, as a banker, I used to go to like the benefit a day with different companies, and people be set up. Well, I have some of those relationships still with those big corporations when I used to go like workplace banking.
Yeah.
and kind of reached out to some people about being able to come in and set up. But some of them, they're corporations, like you said, because everybody has someone that has diabetes that works with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely.
So what I would do if I were you, I would get on the mailing list. I would Google health tech programs, and
Okay.
just Google them and get on their email list, and they'll let you know when they got a special program coming up, or if they got a pitch competition. And so you can get these opportunities coming direct to you. And the good thing about doing those corporate things is that they don't tend to take equity, so you can get money but not have to worry about giving up equity.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
for that. Yeah, that's a jewel.
yeah. So that's kind of a strategy that you can actually use. Righty. So the anything else you wanted to share with us tonight?
Well, for everybody who knows someone with diabetes, or please share. You can find us on the web at diabeteshealthcarecompany.com.
Hmm.
It's that easy. Diabeteshealthcarecompany.com, and then just share that, get on that website, sign up for our waiting list that we have right now to get more people signed up for the app.
Yeah. If you don't mind, go ahead and uh, put maybe your LinkedIn thing in the chat. I'll put something in there how folks can get a hold to you. Yeah, and your website stuff as well. Um, the Yeah. So any folks out there got a question about anything? It doesn't have to be about a question for Ray. If you just got a question in general, we'll be glad to answer those questions as well. Mhm. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Yeah. I think if like yeah, I would literally, yeah, I would get on top of the field that you're in, and and make sure you understand what the other health tech companies are doing in this area. And there's so many different approaches and things to kind of move forward. But yeah, you need to be the go-to person to kind of know what's going on in the in the in this health tech industry, especially related to diabetes. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. And like I said, we're trying to make our community healthy. It's big in the African American community, but the overall community, 37 million people with diabetes and 96 million with pre-diabetes. So it's a large opportunity to get people healthy. The last thing I want to add to that is too that diabetes actually drains the wealth out of our community, because most of the time people can't get life insurance, or it's too expensive to get life insurance. So that's another thing, that diabetes is not only destroying the physical, but it's also the financial aspect of our community too. So
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yep. So yeah, Ron always has some really good ideas there. Yeah. So that's really good. So have you came across any opportunities in our Founders Opportunity Database?
I have not, but you told me what I need to do now, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I've been working on that lean canvas and traction model, so I'm going to do
Yeah.
that. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
just get what your priority is, get through that 30-day thing, but the good thing is once you uh, get through it, you you'll be in a good place to kind of move forward. Yeah, I was going to go to the founders opportunity thing real quick, and just so people are aware what we're talking about. Once you kind of learn the best, you know uh, get that foundation and learn the best practices, you can kind of move forward. And this is kind of like our founders opportunity database, and I'll put, for those new people who might not be aware of it, I'll put it in the chat here. Let's see. And hopefully you can click on it and kind of see what's going on here. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there, but in order to take advantage of these kind of opportunities out there, you have to develop that founder's mindset, and just learn about that, and then go through the training that, like you're going through now, Ray. So we offer the Startup on the Box founders that lean stack training that you're going through right now. We also offer the startup school that I showed everybody. No, the startup school is that's Y Combinator. You can go enroll in that, and that kind of gives you another perspective. And this mindset is actually from the folks at the Y Combinator as well. And then the startup science thing, that's another learning thing. So these two here are all about learning, but like for you, Ray, like let's say you can get link to the video here, or you can get I can download and get your copy of it. You can post that on your F6S profile. That's got a lot of opportunities out there, and so you're participating, in the local startup stuff up there in Nashville, and also in the virtual stuff with the BIT there. And, like we do these weekly meetings here, with Startup on the Blocks, and then take advantage of these opportunities, over here. And so the idea is that all these, so what is this right here? Is this the Birmingham thing? I don't know. But yeah, so like there's opportunities out there, so to kind of take advantage of different opportunities like that. And so like even somebody like you at the stage you're at now, Ray, you could even consider this Visible Hands one. And so it's due toward the end of the month here. And so this is an example where they're going to select 20 founders for 10-week virtual programming. So you can do it from wherever you are, hands-on coaching. But they'll put this particular program, they'll do a $200K investment. And so what's neat about Visible Hands is that they take you at whatever stage you're at. If they like you and your team or what you're doing, and so when you, like they said, they're gonna have 20 founders. So what that means is like those founders may be at all different stages.
Okay.
So they design the program, and they provide the program to you for the stage you're at. So nobody's literally going through the same thing. So I'm just showing these just as some examples of opportunities, that are here in Florida. We the Black Founders there's this Black Founders forum in Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, and I signed up for that. Yeah.
Oh, you did say you thinking about actually going down to it?
I am. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So this is a perfect example of you get to showcase what you're doing. And so typically, I don't know about this particular one, but the showcases, that I participated in the past, they typically give you like 4 tickets so you can bring all your co-founders with you or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And you get a free booth and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's like definitely a fantastic opportunity. And they're not, doesn't appear that they're asking for a whole lot of information.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I applied. They weren't asking for a lot of stuff. I was like, because some of the applications I've seen was like 3, 4, 5, 10 pages. I was like, okay, I'm not there yet. But for those, I'll say, okay, I can spend
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes filling that out. So
Well, so this is what I'll tell you. You know, when you get your stuff done in the startup science thing, you know that profile, you won't have to recreate that information again. You just copy and paste it into to an application. You got all the information that they could possibly ask for. So it's just so many different programs out there that are out there. So this one right here might be more for both startups and traditional businesses. So like so they you look at this and you say, well, they're just giving away 25,000, but when you click the apply button, they're literally giving away 1 grand per prize of 25,000, 4 prizes of 20,000, and 10 prizes of 15,000. You see, yeah, and I think this. I'm not sure. Amazon got so many different programs as you know, but this one seems more just maybe just a Main Street one, or maybe just a startup one. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's kind of just wanted to make sure people are aware of some of the opportunities out there that are going on. But you have to be working on this. You have this scalable business model. You have to pitch your business model and not your product, right?
that's what you got to do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like when you're filling out these applications, you're literally filling out describing how you make money. So yeah, man, we appreciate you being on it and sharing your story. And yeah, I think the audience generally see that that you can that it is you're in a space where there's definitely opportunity to kind of move forward. So I'm glad. So this thing is like it says it's for investors, but you can literally sign up for the newsletter and they'll send you things, and then you can actually watch pitch competition live, and you can go back and watch them after if they do, and they're all the time every day. This is kind of like the new platform for actually doing demo days on as well.
Okay.
You see, that's why, and so that's to me, it's a no-brainer. You can learn from people already out there doing it. Why try to reinvent the wheel? All right, well,
go to YouTube right now, look at some pictures, and definitely gonna be setting some office hours with you on Saturday. So I appreciate you having me on, and thank for everybody for the information and giving some feedback to me. I appreciate you. I appreciate my family, my fiance, my sons, my family that's been helping me, and thank you again for this opportunity, Lord.
Fantastic. Yeah, we thank you for sharing. That definitely will help some folks out there. I think you got a new partner there with Dr. Mayfield. You said,
yes,
yeah, and so she probably knows a lot of doctors and stuff like that as well. So that's what the networking is all about. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Ray, if you just stay on just a second here, I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast. Thanks, everyone. See you all next week.